Hello.
Hi.
Anybody there?
No, we have no viewers at the moment.
Not yet.
Any
questions? No. Let me just check. Twitter. No.
No. Right. Let's get started. So, we're here kind of this afternoon to go through a briefing for your final exam, which kind of is the final part of your assessment. We've got 11 viewers. Come on, I need 20 viewers.
We have a bet.
15 viewers. Yes, come on.
Don't go above 20. Otherwise, I lose the bet.
16. Right. So, what are we going to have a look at today? So, we're going to go through your exam. We're going to talk about what the actual questions are. And we're going to talk a little bit about how you can be successful in your exam as well. Oh, we've lost a viewer. We're down to 15.
20.
Brendan's going to try and keep an eye on Twitter on the hashtag, see if there's any questions.
Yep, DMMP 1617, tweet us on that. There's a forum as well if you want to ask any questions on that. There's nothing happening there. And then also in the chat area beside the YouTube video, you just pop a question on there. So hopefully.
19.
Oh no, 19!
Come on!
22.
Thanks. I had faith. Yes.
Okay.
Do you just want to lock the door in case anybody walks in? Oh, we got it locked. Yes, we got it locked. So we don't get disturbed. Fabulous. Right, so let's get into this and get into the details. So
how many, what percentage of marks in DMMP is this exam?
So your exam is worth 60% of the overall unit. So it's worth slightly more than your first assignment, which was worth 40%.
Okay. What do you have to do to pass?
So you need to get 40% to pass. So the same as all your other kind of standard assignments, you need to be getting at least 40% in order to pass the exam.
Okay.
That will then, what will happen is the mark from your exam will then be added to the mark from your first assignment, and you need 40% overall in order to pass the unit and move on to second year.
Lovely. It's gone so fast, hasn't it?
And well, yeah, it actually feels like 5 minutes since we were doing the first assignment broadcast.
Okay, so it's an exam, but it's a different kind of exam.
Yeah. Do you want to explain?
Yes. Many years ago, we looked into the big book of how you do exams in MMU, and I found out that there are these things called pre-seen open book exams. Now, they use them quite a lot in engineering and in science because there's lots of formulas and lots of mathematical things in there, which is quite difficult for some of the students to retain in their head and to bring in. So what they did in these exams is they give them the material first, and then they'll have a certain period of time, give them about a month or two, depending on how long we have, and then you prepare your answers based around that. So every one of you will get your questions today, all 25 of you who tuned in. You get your questions today, and then you have between now and the exam date to prepare your answers, which will obviously be a combination of lecture slides and the tutorial material that you've done, the projects that you've done so far this year. So pre-seen equals we are going to give you the questions today. Yeah,
and I don't think there'll be any big surprises in this question. I don't think so.
Right,
I'm pretty sure we've covered everything.
Okay.
So those of you that are attending and engaging with everything should sail through.
Yeah, it should be obviously fine. The other thing to say about the exam is that the pre-seen bit, we've covered that. The other bit is open book.
Yeah.
Open book means you can bring anything into the exam, which means today you get questions, you start working on the ones that you want to answer, and then you type it all up, you print it all out, and then you bring it into the exam. And when you do, you bring it in, you put it on the table in front of you. You can bring books if you want, but you probably shouldn't need them.
Not the best idea.
And then it's a case of writing down your answer that you've spent a month, 5 weeks, or whatever dates that we've got to prepare your answers.
Okay, this sounds pretty easy.
You need to make it harder next week.
So why have we kind of decided to do it?
Do you want me to talk about that? Yeah, okay. There's a number of factors why the open book pre-seen exam system works. Now, obviously I used the example of sciences and engineering, but there's lots of things there. But what we found is that an open book exam, it limits the stress on the student, whereby you are not very worried about the mystery element of the exam. You're not worried about what might come up. You you now, as of today, you know what will come up. So then you focus your effort and your energy and your stress on getting the best answer.
So look, we're lightening the load, basically.
Exactly, yeah.
Lowering your levels of stress.
Exactly, we're making you feel better. We're also taking the element of luck out of it, where some people pick a topic and they may be lucky or they may be unlucky. So that's gone, so you know. But this gives you more time to think and to focus your energy specifically on creating the best answer. Now, some students think this is unfair. Do you remember that?
Do you think?
Yeah, some students think it's unfair, you're just giving us all the questions. But we're giving everybody all the questions.
Yeah.
So you are all starting at exactly the same point.
Yeah.
So what we want you to do is to focus on creating the best answer possible with the questions that we're going to give you today.
I'm not a big fan of testing kind of memory and recall either. I don't think, you know, being able to remember names and dates for 2 hours on a date in May. Yeah. I'm not quite sure what that.
So we find that this has worked better, and it's worked better in the past as well. The quality of the answers that we get.
Yeah, as a result of this, then we are expecting a high quality answer that has been well researched. Yes, and you all have plenty of time. I think you've got about 6 weeks or so in which to pull this together, so that's plenty of time.
Excellent. So open book exam, we like that. Does anybody like it? If you like it, tweet with the DMMP 1617 hashtag.
Have we got any comments?
Give us a thumbs up. Any comments on our live chat on the YouTube page? No. No. Anybody out there at all?
Well,
26 viewers. So I've lost my bet. Let me just refresh. Anything on the tweets? Nope. Absolutely not. Just very happy students who tweeted about how much they like this unit. DMMP 1617. Send us a tweet if you can. Right.
Okay, let's get on to format of the exam. So there are 2 particular sections to the exam. There's section A, and everybody must answer section A. So you must answer that question. That question is compulsory. And then section B comprises of 5 questions, of which you must answer 2 of those questions. Okay, so once we kind of go through what the individual questions are, we'll talk about how those kind of marks break down and stuff like that. Right, time and date. I'm pretty sure you all know this because it's on the examination area of my MMU. So make sure you double check that. But the exam takes place between 1:30 and 3:30 on Tuesday, the 16th of May in Sugden Sports Hall. You need to know where that is. How early would you recommend they arrive?
Well, about a half an hour before the exam would be the latest that I would be getting there. Yeah, definitely get there an hour before. Because what you'll do is typically it's a really nice sunny day because it's getting into the summer, which is good for you guys because you finish at 3:30 and there's a wonderful pub just around the corner from it, and you can go there if you want. But
then I'll be buying me a gin and tonic.
I'll be there. Yeah, which is after losing my bet. But get there about an hour before, but no later than a half an hour before, because otherwise you arrive there late, you're sweaty because it's so warm, you're stressed out because the bus was late, and you're not in the right mindset. You've done all the work, you've prepared all of your answers, but you're stressed out on the day because of whatever transport nightmare that you've got. So just make sure that you get there at least a half an hour before.
What you need to remember is there's 200 odd of you, but there will be another several hundred other students sitting other exams. You must sit at the right table.
Yeah, you've got to find your name.
Yeah, so you have to find your name on a huge long list. You've got to find your table. You need to get all your stuff out, and everybody needs to be kind of sat down, ready to actually go. We need to distribute the papers, the answer booklets, and be ready to go by 1:30. I will be there as well, so make sure you all get the right exam paper. You're sitting the right exams and all the exam papers.
And you'll know it's the right exam paper because you know what questions should be on it.
Well, I know, but I've had situations in the past where students have been
somebody's having an accounting and finance exam.
Yeah.
They're sat in the wrong seat because they didn't have to check the list because they were late and they arrived before. Just get there early and get all of that stress out of the way.
Okay, fab. Right, let's get into this actual exam. So section A, which is worth 50% of your mark for the exam, is compulsory, and everybody must answer this question. So this is worth 50% of your marks. and you must provide an evaluation of one of the contemporary areas of digital marketing explored throughout the course of this unit. All this information is on a PowerPoint, which is on Moodle now as well. So if you might want to kind of have a look at that in conjunction with watching this. So you've got to provide an evaluation of one particular area of digital marketing that we've explored during this course.
What do you mean by evaluation?
So your evaluation must consist of, you must provide a definition of this particular area. You must detail the kind of main features of this particular area, and you must detail the benefits and drawbacks for an organisation using it, and then provide us with a strong conclusive statement.
Okay.
So we've got a choice. We're going to give you a choice of which kind of contemporary areas of digital marketing that you do this evaluation on. So you must pick one of these. We've got 4 to choose from, and you must pick one and do an evaluation of one.
I think one is underlined and in bold.
Question. It is, yeah.
Only one.
So you've got a choice of, so you can either provide an evaluation of online influencers. And if you remember, I gave you a lecture on online influencers. We looked at several kind of academic models that could be applied to online influencers. We looked at the kind of benefits of engaging with online influencers, and we looked in quite a lot of depth at kind of influencer marketing and how. So that's one of the areas. The second area is newsjacking. So I covered this in my lecture on online PR, which I recorded because it was one I was ill for, and I've recorded that this morning, and that is now online for you. So you can listen to me prattle on. It was quite early this morning, so it's a little bit. So newsjacking, looking at the phenomenon of newsjacking, what is it? Also, if you remember, Joanna Halton went into quite a lot of detail about newsjacking, gave you quite a lot of examples of what it is as well, and her lecture is actually on Moodle as a recording as well. So you've got plenty of resources to have a look at there. I would strongly suggest you look at Meerman Scott, The New Rules of Marketing and PR. He claims to be the kind of founder of newsjacking. I don't think that's true or not. Don't know. I think he's just kind of come up with the name. But anyway, another nice credible source you can have a look at for newsjacking. Okay, what's the third area?
The third area is, no surprise, I told you about 3 times in the lecture, gamification. So gamification, obviously, as you guys remember, it's using a game type scenario where there's goals, there's activities, the challenges, and used within a business setting, used within a marketing setting. So brands who've used gamification to try and gamify their offering, their service, or some of the things that they do. So I gave you loads of examples. I think that's your phone going on.
Who is calling?
Is it a caller? Is it somebody with a question?
No, I don't.
It is.
I'm not.
You can put that on silent.
I'm not. I hope I do that.
The next time you give out to any students where the phone's going off, now you've got absolutely no credit.
Have I turned that off now?
Yeah, right. Gamification, I gave you lots of examples of how brands have used gamification. Remember the Jimmy Choo, you remember Jay-Z, you remember quite a few things. I've even put an example on Moodle as well of how The Walking Dead used a great Facebook game that you can play. Now, with gamification, obviously there was 1 or 2 models that I showed you there with the different typologies of players and the different types of games that are involved, the game elements. So remove the rules, the way that you engage, and then obviously the kind of emotional feelings that are in there. So I gave you about 3 references at the end of that set of lecture slides. All 3 of those will be good, but we'd be expecting to see more within your answer.
Yeah. You really need to be using academic sources to support your answers. We're going to talk about references towards the end.
Okay. And if you're unsure about that, just put into Google Scholar, go to Google Scholar, find the search engine for scholarly articles, and then put in the word gamification, and you will find a ton of academic articles, which are all fine.
Then the final area is social commerce. So if you remember, Neil Taylor came in to talk to you about social commerce. So really what I'm wanting you to look at here is how social media is used in order to drive sales of products or services. There's plenty written in Tootin and Solomon's social media marketing text on social commerce. So really, I'm looking for you to get your head around how is social media used in order to drive sales of products or services. Start to think about, particularly think about the introduction of sponsored posts in Instagram, and they've now got the kind of buy now button on them. Same's happening in Pinterest. Loads of kind of little buy now buttons appearing all over social. So yeah, it's really a growing area.
Good. So
again,
section A
Google Scholar.
Yeah, Google. So section A has 4 options: newsjacking, online influencers, gamification, and social commerce.
Yeah.
Tweet us with the one that you're going to pick. We have a question from Maisie. Should we use?
Hi, Maisie.
Hi, Maisie. First-time caller. Should we use examples of real businesses using whichever area we choose? Okay,
yeah,
good question.
Yeah, some examples. Yeah.
So the question says benefits and drawbacks for an organization using that tool. So it doesn't say anything about what type of organization. So yeah, if you can use that.
Yeah, I think using real life examples of organizations and how they've kind of used one of these areas really kind of demonstrates your understanding.
Yeah, it tells the story really nicely as well. So here's a great campaign example of how certain brands use. Yeah, great.
Excellent question, Maisie. Thank you.
Digital, the future.
Right. So that's section A.
Everybody is to do section A.
Yeah. So you must pick one of those 4 areas. Okay. Section B. There are 5 questions in total for section B, and you must answer 2 out of the 5. So you get to choose 2.
Okay.
Any more questions? No.
I'm just going to check the tweets.
Refresh. No.
These guys don't like Twitter.
They're very cool. No, they don't like Twitter. Right. Okay. So let's get into section. Is that every single question in section B is worth 25% of your marks. Okay. So the first one is based around the area of online consumer behaviour, which we covered under several lectures and several tutorials as well. And we would like you to evaluate how new online communities are influencing consumer behaviour. Now, in my lecture on online influencers, we covered kind of this creation of community where kind of like-minded people that are interested in a particular area or a particular topic are coming together. So talk about how is that influencing people's behaviour online. You will need to support your answer by providing 2 examples of social media communities. So you'll need to come up with 2 real-life examples of social media communities and talk about how those communities influence online consumer behaviour. And furthermore, you will need to justify your answer with some credible academic references, such as?
Well, I'd have a look at the reading list on Moodle. I'd have a look at the reading list of any articles which are in the last few pages of the lecture slides for online consumer behavior. You could just look at Solomon's book, which is all on consumer behavior, and find some of the online community behaviors in there. But yeah, go back to Google Scholar and again put in there online consumer behavior and see what you find. There might be something in there that helps you to answer. But if it's a group of people that do something on Instagram, maybe try and find Instagram communities on Google Scholar and see if you find anything there.
Just talking about that, a community could be based around a particular hashtag. Social media.
Yep.
On Instagram, for example, it could be a particular Facebook group. It could be a hashtag on Twitter. This is the kind of formations of communities that we're talking about.
Good. Excellent. 25% for that. 25 marks. Lovely. The next one. This is my area. Okay, so the geeky stuff, or the Big Bang Theory stuff. Okay, this is the next question in section B is measurement and analytics. So all that geeky stuff that I showed you with Google Analytics and with all that Google Trends and all that keyword stuff and all that social media stuff. Okay.
We have a question from Eleanor. Can you read that?
Question from Eleanor. Where can we find the PowerPoint with the questions on?
It is on Moodle under this week. So if you scroll down to this week, there is a PowerPoint on Moodle with all the questions on.
Very good.
I'm just going to check whether I've actually made that visible while you continue to talk about measurement and analytics.
Okay, so the question is as follows for measurement and analytics. Section B, measurement and analytics. Describe the customer activities that the digital marketer can observe on a website. Okay, that's the first part. The second part is when considering these activities, explain what actions the digital marketer can take in order to improve future campaigns. So the first part is very much about what activities, and by activities, think about all that stuff that I showed you about likes, about clicks, about keywords, about referral traffic, about people browsing the web and landing on a page. These are all activities. These are things that people do, people perform. So what activities can the digital marketer observe on a website? So on your website, you can see where people have come from. You can see what they've done on the page, how many pages they've viewed within your website, how long they've spent there, what kind of keywords that they use to land on there. There's lots of different things in there. So I want you to describe some of those in the first part of that answer. The second part of that answer is when you're going to talk about how you can use those activities to improve future campaigns. So I think I would have spoken to you guys about in the lecture about how people land on a page on a website. And say you're a retailer, you're selling lots of different trainers, which I keep coming back to, orange trainers. If people land orange trainers this year, yeah,
muffins on you.
Muffins last year. So people land on the homepage of your retailer's website, like ASOS, and they have to travel 5 pages to have a look through category, trainers, yellow trainers, red trainers, green trainers, and then they get to orange trainers, when all they wanted was just to buy those orange trainers. So what the digital marketer might do is they might change the color and the organization of the homepage and say orange trainers 50% off right here. Okay, that's looking at the activities that people perform on the website, i.e. landing on the page, clicking, searching, and then browsing through a number of different pages. What the digital marketer might do is they might change that homepage so it reflects more of the products there, that you can see them instantly. What are you then doing? You're then shortening the number of pages there to view and hopefully improving the experience, and then hopefully you will sell more orange trainers. Now that's one example, but there's lots of them, okay? So first part, describe some of the customer activities that we can observe, that a digital marketer can observe. Second part, what can you do with these activities to improve what that website will do, okay? Now, the third part, you need to make sure that you're justifying these statements with credible academic evidence, okay? And what we want you to do as well is to illustrate how these behaviors are mentioned, or these behaviors that you've mentioned, try and really highlight how important these are. So the use of keywords in a search engine is really important, but there's been loads of stuff written on that, either in the textbook, which I believe is right behind me here.
Is that one?
That one, and this one. So in here, there is going to be lots of stuff written about keywords, about searching, about landing on a website, about browsing through a website. There's loads of stuff in here. Start here, and then have a look at the back pages of each chapter, and there's going to be lots more references there. Use some of those in your answer. There's your justified, there's your academically credible evidence right there.
But I'd like it to be reading wider than the context.
Of course.
That's actually starting.
Start here.
Yeah. Okay. Eleanor, in answer to your question, I hadn't clicked OK to upload those slides. I have now, and they are on Moodle under this week. So and thanks for drawing my attention to it. Okay. How many marks is that question with? Your question on measurement and analytics?
25 marks.
25%.
Exactly. So 25% will go.
Okay.
The next question again is 25%, because we're in section B. Each question has 25%, 25 marks, but you only need to answer 2. You only need to pick 2. The next one is on development, politics, and governance. So you remember I spoke to you about Brexit, I spoke to you about the UK election, I spoke to you about the American election. So the question relating to that topic, I think I mentioned there's a question on that in the lecture as well. So here's the question. Describe and discuss how content on social media was utilized in the 2016 Brexit campaign. Using 3 examples, evaluate the impact of social media on the younger voter. Now, I gave you a lovely piece of research done by Ipsos Mori and King's College about how they thought the the 2015 election was going to be the digital election. There's some great research in there.
We've been saying that every year.
It's like the year of the mobile, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's some great evidence there that you can use to base this on, or to start your reading based around. So you need to provide 3 examples of how social media was used, or content on social media was used during the Brexit referendum. Okay, now you're going to need to be able to describe and discuss. There's 2 things there. So explain what it is and then discuss the impact of that.
Great.
3 times. Justify your answer with any credible academic evidence to show this impact. Okay.
Right. And how many marks is that worth?
25 marks, 25%.
Right.
Next question.
Next question is on viral marketing. And again, it's worth 25% of your overall mark. And what we're asking you to do here is we're asking you to critically analyze one viral marketing campaign of your choice and discuss what value has been added to the brand. So you need to pick one particular viral marketing campaign. And when Joanna Holton came in and talked to you about viral marketing, she gave you hundreds of different campaigns and outlined some of those. So it might be you want to pick one of those. It might be one that you've seen that's different to that. But look at a viral marketing campaign. So something that got a lot of traction online, be that on social media, be that on YouTube, and it has been shared and had a lot of engagement. So a viral marketing campaign of your choice, and discuss what value has been added to the brand. So it does need to be related to a brand. It doesn't want to be something random.
Yep.
And you will need to justify your answer with credible academic evidence. So you might want to have a look at a few kind of academic sources on brand value, and get an idea of what kind of brand value is, and then think about how viral marketing kind of fits in with that.
Okay. Yeah. How many marks for that?
25%.
Lovely. Next question.
Final. Then this is the last question in section B.
How many questions are we on in section B?
This is question 5.
Right. How many do they have to answer?
2, please. So you must answer 2 in section B. So the final question is on social media and employability. And again, that's worth 25 marks, 25% of your overall mark. And we'd like you to explain how you can improve your employability using social media. Charlotte came in last week and talked to you about how she used social media in order to enhance her employability, both while she was at university and once she'd left university. So that was a really good kind of case study on how someone has actually used social media. But what you will need to do, because I'm pretty sure most of you would be able to write a pretty solid answer to that, I would hope, but you will need to be able to justify your answer with some credible academic references. So start to have a think about what are some of the elements of a kind of social media marketing campaign, and think about how do you apply that to you as the brand, and how do you do that to enhance your own employability. So what kind of social media marketing techniques could you employ?
Very good. So
And
just
that's it.
Yeah.
End of exam.
Done. 3:30. 16th of May. Right. So that's the 5 questions. Which 2 of the 5 questions takes your interest? If you know already, then tweet us or drop a question on the YouTube page. We have a question. Right, yes, we'll come to this in a second.
Excellent question.
CKA asked, will we need to write a reference list or just use citations?
You will need to be referencing to Harvard style. You will need to make sure you cite all your sources within your actual answer, and then you will need to provide us with a reference list. You can either provide us with a reference list at the end of each answer, or you can provide us with one overall reference list at the end, but that must be to Harvard style.
Okay.
The only change that I want to make to that is the fact that actually you're going to have to handwrite this out. Therefore, if you're using any websites and they've got massive long URLs that are kind of / numbers -- just give me the main URL. You don't need to give me the /
Guardian.com
Yes.
/673. Just Guardian.
Just Guardian.com or econsultancy.com. There's a couple of good sources for you already. So yeah, you will need to cite surname, date within your answer, and you will need to provide us with a full reference list as well. And we will be looking, you know, you're going to have had 6 weeks plus in order to research this, so we'll be looking quite closely at the kind of references that you've used. We will know if you have just Googled the benefits of social commerce and
advantages of social commerce, and then your web address is the advantages of social commerce on a blog. So
we will know if you have just Googled and done your research via Google.
Which is why every question has at the very bottom of it, justify your answer with academically credible evidence. So it needs to come from a book, or it needs to come from an academic journal, or come from a market research report, something a bit more.
Yeah, or a credible website. You know, e-consultancy, social media examiner, Mintel.
Yeah, that's almost like the payoff, because we've given you the questions. You have to go and make the best answer possible. Yeah. And the best answer possible, we're telling you, has lots and lots of this academically credible evidence in there.
Yeah. Okay, so really good question. Thank you for asking that.
Great. Right, how are these guys going to get any help in between now and the day of the exam?
How about sit or leave them to it? No, I'm kidding.
Drop the mic.
Yeah. So there will be plenty of support, you'll be pleased to know. Your tutorials this week, please make sure you attend. Because each of your tutors will be giving you kind of a little bit of a head start, I suppose, in how you would answer each of these questions. So please make sure you go along to your tutorials this week, because I think that'll be really beneficial. There will also be one-to-one exam support sessions, which you will be able to book. So these will be available week commencing the 24th of April. If you scroll down to that week on Moodle, there is a link and it details all the appointments that are available with your tutors. There are loads of them. You will get 10 minutes. Basically, you need to sign up for one of these support sessions via Moodle. So select the day, time that's most appropriate for you. You'll need to sign up. The room, the details of the room that you will need to go to will be on Moodle. So make sure you check and you know where you're going. For instance, any support sessions with myself will be in my office, which is 631. With Bex, any of her appointments will be in her office, which is 634. 64? Yeah, you check.
634.
Yeah. Yep. Any appointments with Renate will, because she doesn't have an office here, they will be in the rooms for that day. So, for example, on a Tuesday at 3 till 5, she is in room 208. I think, just let me check my calendar. Yep, room 208. And then on a Thursday, her appointments between 12:30 and 2 will be in room 504. So just make sure you know where you're going for your appointment. Okay. Please only book one appointment. So
should they book the appointments at the very last available option?
I wouldn't.
Why not?
Give yourself as much time as you possibly can in order to improve your answer after that meeting. So the sooner you book your appointment, the better, I would say. You will need to come along to that meeting with all your kind of questions ready. So you really need to prep for that meeting. The tutors will not be asking you any questions. Bring a USB with your work on, bring a printout with your work, but make sure you have specific questions that you want to ask about that work. We won't be asking you anything.
Will you be offering an indication of what grade they will get?
No, not at all.
So don't ask what grade.
Yeah, don't. Basically, what we'll be looking for is we'll be looking at key areas where we think you can improve your work.
Right. Okay. So they take those areas of improvement, go back, and then improve that. That might take about a week. That might take a couple of days. So book at the very last available slot might not be.
No, probably not your best idea. No.
All right.
Please, if you book an appointment and you cannot make it, please go onto Moodle and cancel that appointment. Or if it's very last minute, please make sure you get in touch with your tutor to cancel that appointment. It is just common courtesy.
Yeah.
It's very, very frowned upon for you just not to turn up.
Also, make sure you get the time right.
Yeah.
Don't show up an hour late. And think,
no. Yeah.
The clock's went forward.
You've got to remember, even though we're not teaching now, we've still all got very, very busy schedules in terms of marking work, seeing other students on other units. So if you've booked a particular time and you come an hour early or an hour late, that's really difficult for us to fit that in, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Okay, I think that's everything. Are there any questions?
Does anybody have any questions? Our 23 viewers. God bless you all.
Should we give it a couple of minutes? A couple of seconds?
Right, I owe you a G&T.
You do owe me a G&T.
I bet that no more than 20 people were going to be.
I said there would be more than 20, so thank you.
Thank you, 3 people.
Well, actually, no, there were 27 at one point, so some people have just decided.
We'll have a look. We'll do a screen grab of the numbers, and we'll put that up on the Moodle afterwards. So no questions from anyone? There's nothing really coming through on the YouTube page, and there is nothing on the Twits. I guess that's it, really.
Yeah.
Other than
say, best of luck.
Yep, good luck.
For your exam.
Any final tips? Bring chocolate, Lucozade, water, bring all that stuff with you. For us. Into the exam, because you're going to be writing furiously, and you won't have you might take a bit of a dip after.
Actually, on that point, writing.
Yes, handwriting.
Yeah, you need to make sure that your handwriting is legible. If we can't read it, we can't give you any marks for it. And that has been, we always have a number, don't we? Where it's really, really difficult to read. So if we can't read it, we can't actually give you any marks.
So you may spend 6 odd weeks preparing some brilliant answers, some fantastic stuff. You have it printed off, you bring it in, and then you're just in such a rush that we can't actually read it. Then the mark will suffer because we can't read the content that's on there. We can't read like the contents of your answer.
So you need to practice writing.
So sit down with a watch, a stopwatch on your phone, and write. Try practice writing your exam answer. If you don't have your exam answer ready, take the newspaper and put it beside. Take the Metro and try and write the Metro down in 30 minutes.
Newspaper? They don't read newspapers.
They do, of course. They don't read the Daily Mail. They're all the celeb goss. Write the celeb goss from the Daily Mail on a piece of paper and write for 30 minutes, and you'll count up the number of words in 30 minutes. Multiply that by 4, because obviously 2 hours. And that might give you an indication of how many words you can write.
Yeah, because remember, you need to have a really, really good indication of how much you need to write for each answer. So section A is worth 50%. So you probably should be spending an hour writing section A. Section B are worth 25% each. So therefore, you should be spending half an hour on each question for section B. Okay, which then gives you kind of 2 hours for your exam. Make sure you know you can get that answer written into that booklet legibly within that time.
With a reference list.
Yeah, with a reference list as well.
We're losing viewers here.
We are.
We've had 16. Right, on that note.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any more questions. So, thank you.
So they got one-to-one. What about the forum on
the forum? Yes. There is a forum on Moodle where you can ask questions. Please bear in mind that as of Friday, there are 3 weeks Easter holidays, and they actually let us go away. They let us have some time off. We'll be going on holiday. But I will endeavour to answer those questions as quickly as I can as and when they appear. I think I've asked you to do 2 things before you ask a question on the forum. Number 1, watch this video. And number 2, just have a read through the other questions and answers to make sure you're not asking the same thing. So I don't want to kind of keep answering the same questions. So you make sure you've done that. If you've done those 2 things and you still have a question, then please ask your questions on that forum. I think I've also said that the forum will close at 5 p.m. on Monday, the 15th of May. So if you ask anything after that time, I cannot guarantee it will be answered before your exam on the Tuesday. I think that's one. So,
right. It's been a wonderful year.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful year.
We'll see you guys at the exam.
Yes.
And then if not, we'll see you around the university next year.
Yeah, or maybe for a drink afterwards.
Yes. Sandbar, I think. Right, we done?
Yeah, brilliant. All right. See you later. Good luck.